All right, the person I'm going to bring up next, somebody I have tremendous respect for. Someone who's actually mentored me a little bit up along the way in the business. Just a phenomenal leader. Some of you guys are going to be seeing a lot of and hearing a lot from. That's my good friend Rick Walsh.
All right.
Thanks so much, Addison. And have you ever called somebody up and wanted to introduce your opportunity, and they wanted to turn the conversation around and introduce their opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to ignore that? That's what happened to me a few weeks ago. They turned it around. So Addison and David introduced me to this opportunity, and I'm very grateful for that. By the way, if anyone, I heard a couple of people say I remind them of somebody. Have you ever had a board game as a kid? No, I'm not the Monopoly man. But anyway, I was given 10 minutes up here, and I want to talk about something that I've done some studying on. And it's the concept of momentum. Momentum in our industry is a term that we answer around a lot, and we get emotionally tied to it a lot, but we never look historically at the markers that will tell us whether or not a company can go into momentum. When I started in this industry, my hair was jet black and there was a lot more of it. It's 32 years I've been in the industry, mostly as a distributor, some as a corporate executive, 10 years as publishing the industry trade journal, a full-color magazine. And so I made a study of the industry over those 32 years and what makes companies tick, what makes them go into momentum, etc. And so I want to talk about two things real quickly here, and that is, what is momentum? How do we define it? And how can we tell if a company's going into momentum? Momentum merely employs a business principle, Peter Drucker's principle of growth magnifies and intensifies effort. Now, what does that mean? See, if you're explaining to someone who's a novice in the industry and you say our company's going to go into momentum, they wouldn't know what that meant. But when we talk about growth magnifies and intensifies effort, the best example I can give you is the real estate industry. Take the real estate industry in the 1990s. An average agent in an average town was making what? An average income. That same agent, 2002, 2003, houses are on the market for 4 and 5 days. There's offers above the listing price. That agent made 2 or 3 times as much money. What changed? It's the same agent with the same background, with the same expertise, with the same contact base in the same geographical area, but they tripled their income. It was the growth of the industry that magnified and intensified the effort of that individual. Make sense?
Yeah.
Nothing changed with the individual. The industry changed. Their income went up. Well, in network marketing, we apply that principle of growth magnifies and intensifies effort on a gargantuan scale. Just like everything else in network marketing, we don't work arithmetically, we work geometrically. So if it does 2 or 3 times to an individual in the real estate industry, it does 20, 30, 40 times to an individual in network marketing if they're in that type of hyper growth. So what is momentum, and how many companies have gone into it, and what are the historical markers that will tell us a company is going to go into momentum? Because I'll tell you right now, there are thousands and thousands of network marketing companies that have come and gone. Any guesses of how many have ever entered into momentum? About 2 dozen. That's it. You know, it's easier to hit the lottery than get a company that's going to go into momentum. Amway, the largest network marketing company out there, if we pull away Prime America and Avon, never went into momentum. They do $8 billion a year. They never went into momentum. It was continuous growth. So how do we define momentum? And once we define momentum, let's take a look at what the historical markers are that will tell us where we are at in that possible curve. Momentum is the perception of an opportunity not to be missed. And perception is the operative word. What companies have gone into momentum and what caused them to go into momentum. Maybe anybody, maybe something that would, what aspect of a company would drive it into momentum?
Leadership.
Leadership. You're absolutely right. And you're also wrong.
Integrity.
What is it?
Big checks. Money, checks.
Okay, right. But also wrong. Product. The product. Absolutely right. And also wrong. It is it the product? A very unique product? Are there not unique products in our industry that have not gone into momentum? And some that have? Is it a twist in the compensation plan? Binaries. The original binaries had garbage products, but some of them went into momentum. But others didn't. And then it could be a marketing concept. Some companies went into momentum with a marketing concept, but others have good ones that didn't. Could be management. See, it could be any one of those items, and it could be none of them. It all comes down to what is the perception of us, the leaders in the industry. Is it the perception of an opportunity not to be missed? That perception creates an activity. Massive recruiting. And massive recruiting creates momentum. That's what happens. So let's take a look historically and see where we fall in those markers. New Skin went into momentum in the late 80s. When they first opened up, no. I did consulting for New Skin in 1980 before they even opened up their doors. They went into momentum about 3 years after opening up because they introduced a product called Nutroil. It was the product that caused them to go into momentum. The product could do it, but not necessarily does it. How about a compensation plan change? Of course, binaries, early binaries, just a compensation plan. The idea of getting just 2 legs did cause some companies to go into momentum. Can it be leadership movement? You see, I was with Rexall. Rexall was the old pharmacy chain. For you don't have gray hair. There were more Rexall pharmacies than there are Starbucks today. So it was the first time a brand name entered into the industry. And I was in it for 1.5 years before they went into momentum. What caused them to go into momentum? 4 individuals actually caused them to go into momentum. You guys might know Randy Schrader, and Stuart Hughes, and Steve Campbell, and Todd Smith. They moved from New Skin into Rexall in mass, 4 at once. They created a perception of an opportunity not to be missed, and there was a mass movement of people into Rexall that went into momentum. Can a brand name do it? Yes, it can. I was with the Trump Network. I will tell you the Trump Network is a company that was 12 years old, 10 years old. It's called Ideal Health. They had 5,000 distributors after 10 years. They announced that Donald Trump was going to be involved, and they changed the name to the Trump Network. Not 5,000, but 25,000 people joined in a matter of a few months. I guarantee you there was nothing different with the management team. The products was identical, the pricing was identical, the comp plan stayed the same. The only thing that changed, the only thing, not the infusion of money or capital, the only thing that changed, the name of the company changed from Ideal Health to the Trump Network, and they went into mini momentum. But they couldn't stay there because nothing else changed. And so where do we fit in all of that? You see, it only takes one of these items to put a company into momentum. Do we have a unique product? But a unique product is not going to be enough, because Tom taught me a lesson a couple of weeks ago when he said you can get into momentum, and that's extremely difficult, but to stay in momentum is even worse. Mona B went into momentum. I don't believe they're in momentum today. You know who he took lessons from? He said New Skin, because they kept reinventing themselves every few years. You just heard him stand up here and say, we got Slender Pops, and later we're going to have Smart Pops. The concept of knowing how to not only create but maintain a billion-dollar company is extremely important. And to have one product come after another, so the unique product concept is there, because of course the founder and owner of the company knows how to create those and has proven it in the past. All right, how about compensation plan? Ingenuity. What is the best plan? Is it a stair-step breakaway or a binary? Is it a matrix? Is it a unilevel? Is it a straight line? Anyone would argue for any one of those, but Addison was right. It is the comp plan that pays the most. Because I don't care whose check we're talking about, somebody in a binary, somebody in a unilevel, somebody in a stair-step breakaway, they all pay out 42 cents on the dollar. Some might pay 46, some might pay 38. It just happens to be that way, and they have to, because they have to have a 10-time markup from their cost to end result. Yet the manufacturer has 4 times from raw material to manufacture. The 4 plus 10, you got 40 time markup. The competition can't stay up with that. And therefore, when you pay out 67 cents on the dollar, I don't care what plan you're in, that you will, in fact, have 50% higher checks for the exact same amount of people, the exact same structure. And then the last thing that I want to discuss. 4 people move from new skin into Rexall, put it into Momentum. Mobilization of leaders in one company going in one direction is enough to put a company into momentum. There's 90 of us here. There was 120 last week. There was 60 the week before. Who knows what there'll be next week or the week after that? The largest mobilization of leadership is taking place in this company today. Perception of an opportunity not to be missed. How many are sitting here saying, gee, I wish I was at the last fly-in because I would have had a lot more people at this fly-in? Perception of what's going on. Unique product. Leadership movement in mass without being paid for it. Because we all know there's some companies out there that just buy leaders. So you got leadership in mass movement, you've got a unique product situation, you've got a comp plan that cannot be matched. Does that create the perception of an opportunity not to be missed?
Yes.
Will that create an activity, massive recruiting?
Yes.
Then this company will be one of the few that go into momentum. You just hit the lottery.